what force or unseen hand in the night creates crop circles? This Australian farmer is convinced they're made by the UFOs he saw taking off from these reed beds. Can he be right?
I feel tremendous.
Are fields of energy, as yet unknown to science, generated within the crop circles? Mysteries from the files of Arthur C. Clarke, author of 2001 and inventor of the communications satellite. Now in retreat in Sri Lanka, he ponders the riddles of this and other worlds.
There are fashions in mysteries, as in everything else. In the early 20th century, spiritualism was all the rage. In the 1950s, there was a veritable plague of flying saucers. Then, in the 1980s, reports of a strange new phenomenon came flooding in from the English countryside. Farmers were amazed, and usually annoyed, to discover huge circles of flattened corn. Each year, more and more crop circles were reported. 20 in 1986, 300 in 1989, and twice as many only a year later. Crop circles were turning up all over the world, here in the Far East, in the paddy fields. Soon, all the remaining crops were in danger of being flattened too, this time by investigators and inquisitive tourists.
From the controls of his plane, Busty Taylor has harvested more crop circles than anyone alive. Every day through the English summer, he scans the broad acres for fresh formations. Across the ancient chalk downs of Wessex and the fertile pastures of the Thames Valley, he's logged and photographed each puzzling pictogram. He's seen the whole range, from simple rings to ever more intricate designs, and he's garnered all the explanations. From mating hedgehogs to aerobatic helicopters, from extraterrestrial parking lots to unknown forces of the earth and wind. He's seen symbolism in King Arthur's West Country. Mathematics wrangled in the Cambridge corn. And even humour to celebrate a cycle race. This man, George Pedley, has been haunted for nearly 30 years by something that he saw here. It happened deep in these isolated reed beds in Australia's tropical northeast. George believes he had a fleeting glimpse of a UFO taking off. The reed beds rang with an unearthly sound. The experience left a mark on him and on the landscape. At first, he thought the hissing sound was coming from his tractor.
I remember standing over there beside the tractor, looking in, and trying to convince myself that I didn't see it. But, well, it looked like a flying saucer object. Couldn't see it for very long. It just disappeared.
Moments later, a mat of reeds several feet thick shot to the surface of the lagoon. It looked like a gigantic nest. The reeds were flattened into a clockwise swirl 30 feet across. George called in his neighbour. Albert Panisi grows sugarcane on this land. He too was amazed by the circle, especially its strength. It was 2 feet thick and easily supported his weight.
I think it could hold at least 10 or 12 men. It's George and I discussing the reeds. and how they were turned into a pontoon. They were very thick, the reeds, where you couldn't walk through them anyway.
To this day, both George and Albert remain convinced that extraterrestrials visited Tully and left the evidence in the reeds.
But what George saw a UFO take off from the lagoon, so I suspected it was a UFO that made the circles. And then you'd hear people saying, well, could be caused by helicopter upside down, spoonbills tramping around and making a circle, or alligators mating, grabbing each other's tails and swinging around. Well, there's some of the questions that were put to me, yeah.
Every day of every summer, the circles are sought out by those who believe that the rings have special powers.
They come from around the world to the fields of Britain, as though drawn by a magnetism they can't resist. Dowsers, leyliners, communers with nature, all seeking forces they believe emanate from the depths of the earth.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it brings to the centre 7. And strangely, all the spirals and all the circles all have 7 coils.
Going along very slowly, using my hands as sensors for any energies. And I feel a tremendous tingle there, but it wasn't, it went off. So we're going on. Yes, they're tingling like mad there. I think we'll stop there, you don't mind. And that one just shakes them off because those energies are very, very strong and really quite uncomfortable.
Okay, Lynn, your aura should have expanded by now, so we'll just see how far it's expanded. There we are, that's the difference.